Hey everybody, Barry here again. There's nothing in the shop. That's because I've been doing work on Craig's side-by-side all week and had to get the frame out. Cass has a detail tomorrow, so I can't really touch it. I will be painting it. Probably not gonna be on video, but I'll explain that later. Engine. It is time to get my engine put together. That's the main thing right now. Look what we have here. What is this? What is all this bubble wrapped goodness in there? Dwayne, my buddy who has done a bunch of stuff for me in the past, powder coated this for me. And this is the first time anybody's seen this besides me, is you guys. And I'm very excited. So I asked him just put some powder on it. It's something that he did for me and I'm very happy with. It's got a really freaky texture to it. It's really cool looking. It changes from blue to sort of like a bronze gold color in the light. It's really freaky looking. And told him not to go overboard with the powder because he did it for me for, free. So, if there's a little bit of patchiness, whatever, that's not a big deal. The pan is in really rough shape. So you can see up here there's a lot of pitting. There's no way to get it perfect like that. So it looks awesome though. Like look down here, how cool that looks. Such a really freaky looking texture. I've never seen this before. And up here we have more powder coated fun. Look at this. that turned out really nice. I really like that. And a lot of this stuff you're actually not going to see because of course it is covered up by balancer pulley, water pump. That is in under the engine. And so you're not going to see a lot of it, but it'll be protected. It'll be nice and clean. And here are the valve covers. Let's lay this out nice and neatly looking. It's got some dust and stuff on it, but look, there's that color changing texture again. Super cool. Like, I really like this. Look how cool that looks down here. It's got a wicked glitter to it too, eh? So I appreciate that very much. Dwayne said he's going to do my turbo also. That'll be done sometime whenever. And I'll have a video on that. I'll have a little bit of a reveal on that. So I really appreciate it very much. Thanks, Dwayne. I like to get this engine put together now so that when the frame is painted, I can drop the engine transmission transfer case right on the frame and then start the Lego block build-up of Desperado. Instead of bits and pieces here and there, I can actually start throwing parts at it and putting it together. And that's when you'll see progress come together, hopefully a lot quicker. Now, when I say I'm going to work on the engine, that's the easy part, saying it, because the engine is right there. This should be fun. So much stuff. It's even harder with these two compressors connected together. Ooh, we're gonna do it. Got a little jammed up. I've got almost enough room, I think, if I can get this one out of the way, sort of just rotate them. I can leave Cass's 6-liter there. Gonna need that gasket, I'll reuse that one. And I can get my 5.3 out. Well, I did the little dance, and I got the 5.3 out. Now, that doesn't look like a lot of room. Let's see what we're gonna have. Is it gonna work? Oh, it's so close. Oh, we got a little gap. Oh my gosh. I'm not very much of a steerer, but dude, we couldn't have planned that any better. Wow. The reason I'm not using this 6-liter is because the cam got completely wiped out and filled this whole thing full of glittery goodness. And the head gaskets I don't want to use either because it did get
severely hot a few times. But the oil pan gasket is fine. That was a new Felpro one I used a couple of years ago, and it's the O-ring style, so I'll reuse that. Now, to get it over there, I'm gonna have to get creative. So we're gonna come out here, hook onto it with the forklift, and go there. Ground's froze pretty good. I could probably just roll it around. Yeah, should have used the forklift. Definitely should have used the forklift. I'm almost there.
We made it inside. Now, bolt on the oil pickup tube, front cover, oil pan, and then this thing is ready to at least bolt onto the frame.
As you can see here, it's been a while since anybody looked at this thing, so I'll give you a rundown. This is a Gen 4 aluminum 5.3. You may notice that I have a reluctor from a Gen 3 crank. That's because I used the whole Gen 3 crank. This is Gen 4 oil pump that you can see I did a little bit of work on. I poured it a little bit, stacked a couple washers in here to drive the pressure up because I'm using a turbo and it's nice to have oil pressure. This is, I think this is what's called an LS2 style front gear. This is going to turn my cam into a 1X cam gear. And oh yeah, Jorge sent me a sloppy stage 2 cam for this thing, so we got bump stick. Up here you can see not Gen 4 pistons. Well, I say not Gen 4, they are floating pistons and Gen 4 rods, but they're dished. I want a little bit, not lower compression, but I don't want flat top piston compression. Up here are the heads. Dwayne sandblasted those for me, and I think they're 243s or 799s. Yep, 243s. So that's got big valves.
Not stupid low compression, but low enough that I'm not gonna blow this thing up. I don't have enough money for like forged parts and race gas, and we don't have E85 here, so I'd rather be on the safe side of compression than on the maximum power side of high compression allowable boost.
So that's the very, very modest combination. These are lifters that I completely took apart and cleaned up and rebuilt. No new parts or anything, just took apart, freed up, fixed. They're in good shape. You can see a little sneak of the cam down there.
So it's time to put this thing together.
I'm waiting on a new front cover gasket, so until then, I can get the pickup tube here cleaned up and at least get it ready to install. This is a new seal here, but it's kind of nasty looking, so I'm not going to chance it. And that's pretty cruddy looking. Let's clean it up. That's nasty. A little bit of scratching, a little bit of degreaser. Came out pretty good. That's perfectly fine for what I'm doing. Next up, windage tray. It's actually pretty clean. It's actually not bad at all. It's got some baked down oil from never doing oil changes probably. This doesn't really need any heavy duty rebuild. Nothing like that. I'm just gonna give it a wipe. If there's a little bit of oil left on it, it'll find its way to the bottom of the pan and get picked up by the filter. Or it'll find its way into a rod bearing and sees the whole thing settled. I actually hate being full of oil. Everybody's like, you're a mechanic, you love being dirty and greasy. Absolutely not. Well, I spent like an hour yesterday sorting bolts into a bin, LS bolts. And here are the water pump gaskets, oil pump O-rings, and the front cover gasket. And the front seal. I'm not going to need this seal installer thing because I'm going to be doing it on the bench. But it's actually a cool little thing to have. It's pretty clean inside, but Dwayne sandblasted it, and he did mention that I should clean it up before I put it in the engine because we don't want any little bits of glass getting in there or anything. So I'll run that under some water before I install it. It's -5 Celsius, snowing, and everything is freezing, so I'm gonna be real quick with this one. I don't want to be out here. Doesn't seem to be anything coming out of it anyway. Nice. Well, I don't want to whack it on the bench, so I'm just gonna put this down here on the rubber mat. That'll be a lot better. I just like to take a piece of wood and give it a whack. Make sure it's going in there square. It's not. Let's just give it another whack. See if I can break this, make that front cover leak. How nice would that be? This would probably be a little bit better. Or worse. Perfect. I don't have a seal installer kit or anything, so that'll have to do. I was going to bolt the front cover on, and then I realized I should probably put this on first. And I don't have any more Lucas right now. I don't know where it went, so I'm going to use this bottle of beat up old 5W30. Yeah, see if I can do this very precisely. Make a huge mess. Hey, look at that. I did. Pour some more in for good measure. I think this is probably going to go all over the floor, isn't it? I like to prime the oil pump. Just a little pop in. Come on. There we go. That clunk is nice, isn't it? This little pickup tube bolt here goes torque to not very many inch-pounds, and I don't have a torque wrench that'll do not very many inch-pounds, so click click. Pan, new gasket. Let's put this together. I'm not quite sure how, but I've spent my entire lunch break bolting on the windage tray. How am I that inefficient? Upside down. There we go. I don't know how. I used to be able to get lots of things done on a lunch break, and now I'm like, where's that ratchet I just put down? I know I had it. That reminds me, I gotta find the bolt that goes in the end of the crank. Not sure if I have. Where's my crank? Oh, I was gonna say, where's the crank? Oh God, I'm losing my mind. All right, let's snug this up and then we'll set the height. I'm not going tight with these bolts. Just enough to sort of hold some resistance on it so that I can move it around. There we go. Now, where is my balancer pulley? Ah, there we go. It's a bit rough looking. I'll clean it up now. I looked in all these bins. All of those bins. Pretty much right there. All of that. And wouldn't you know it, it was right there the whole time. This is why it takes a whole lunch break to put in like 10 bolts. Well, I don't know if I'm supposed to put Loctite on this or not, but I never have before, so I'm not going to now. But I do have some of this RTV. I don't know. It looks like there was sealer or something on this before. So that's what I'll do. God, I stink. It smells just like vinegar. Very professional of you, Barry. Let's just guess and assume. That never hurt anybody before. never caused an issue before, right? Oh, am I supposed to put oil on this thing or not? I'm not going to. Seems like it would be unnecessary and probably irresponsible. Oh yeah, I gotta whack that with wood, don't I? All right. These are always such a pain. Ow. Well, this is going swimmingly. Oh, it's actually working. Look at that. What do you know? I think we'll maybe send it in the rest of the way with the impact. She's almost all the way there, actually. Cool. Click, click. Okay, next step is to align the front cover. So you see how this can go up and down here. It can also be rotated that way. That will throw off the alignment from the block to the front cover and the pan. And if you've got a gap, like you can see there, well, it's gonna leak. We don't need that. There is an alignment tool that you can buy. I don't have it. I'm not gonna buy it. I'm sure it's a lot easier than what I'm doing. But what I like to do is just put my straight edge along the block. Grab this thing. That's flat. The other side is a little bit low. So I might have to loosen it up a little bit and just push it up. These will say like to roll around. So that one is flat. That one is flat. So that's, as far as I can tell, is aligned. Now it's aligned top to bottom this way. Side to side, I don't have anything to align that. So that's just gonna have to do it. I've never had a front seal leak before. The only thing I've had happen, actually, scary enough, was the Cadillac had a belt chirp. It would go chirp, 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 chirp. And I realized that my belt was out of line, and that was because this bolt was missing, and the pulley was off here about 1/4 inch, enough to where the pulley was wobbling like this as it would idle. That was terrifying.
So I guess that's why the manual says to put a new crank bolt in every time. I don't have one. I have an old crank bolt, so I always get in the habit of checking that bolt periodically.
That's looking so cool. I want to paint that actually. That looks rusty on this nice blue and black engine block here. Let's put the pan on really quick, eh? Well, Rare TV to the rescue again. Just gonna put some on the corners, just to make sure that's not gonna cause a leak. All right, there's my old gasket. I should put it on correctly, I suppose. Why not? These are supposed to be reusable. We'll find out if it leaks or not. Hopefully not. Woo! Okay. It's always so difficult to get this on without squishing the gasket around and squeezing the gasket maker out. That's good. That's good. Well, the pan is bolted on. That looks so cool. I need to find the oil filter. Not oil filter, the oil level sensor. I don't know where I put that. That could be anywhere, but I'll pull it out of another engine. And here's the crank sensor I'm going to use. This is the one that matches the Gen 3 flywheel. So let's pop that one in there, put a bolt in there, and then that's done. And then I can bolt in, I don't really know which one. I really don't think it matters that much. The now much cleaner Gen 4 cam sensor. Now when I go to wire this thing, I'm going to have to, geez, that's really tight to get in there. I'm going to have to flip a couple of the wires around to make it into a Gen 3 front cam sensor. But I'll put that one in too. Yeah, let's see if I can pop this one in and make a bunch of work for myself when I break it and need to try to get it back out. That did not happen. How cool is that? That's a little tiny bolt. And here's the little tiny bolt. Yep, that's the one. LS bolts are so universal. Installed.
If my calculations are correct, the oil level sensor should be facing out on the engine that I dropped into the crew cab earlier. I say facing out, you'll see why. Got my handed in the thumb wrench and I'm wearing a sweater because it's like minus nope outside. It's so cold. I hate Newfoundland. Cold. I just want to be in Texas, Arizona, somewhere where it doesn't get cold ever. Like, if I never have to see a shovel or a snowmobile again, I will be so happy. Just not today. Is it in the pan? It is in the pan. Sick. I knew I dropped it in like that for a reason.
That's clean. Why is this engine so clean? Huh. Oh no. It's just not going to come out, is it? Oh, I grabbed the wrong wrench. Come on, work. Why? Why does it have to be like this? Why you gotta be like that? Ooh, something's happening. Come on, it's too cold for this. Jeez, my hands are like ice. It is unscrewing, right? Come on. Yeah. I'll be back. I got it. My hands are so cold.
I gave it a wipe down, cleaned it up a little bit. Man, it should be illegal to inhabit somewhere this cold ever. Like whoever settled Newfoundland or whoever found it should have just left it. Oh, they must have found it like in the dead of summer when it's 28 degrees Celsius and beautiful, and they're like, oh, this is the place. Let's stop here and put down roots. And then by the time winter comes, they're like, oh, we already built our house. My family likes it here now. Oh man. I don't know what the torque is on that, but we'll call it clicked.
I think that's it. I think crank sensor's in. That, I need to get an oil filter for it. I need to make my turbo oil feed for here. Cam sensor's in. I think the engine can be rotated. I got no pin in it. Let's do it. Won't smack off my bumper, I guess. Yeah, get down there. Woohoo! That's so cool looking. That looks really, really good. Wicked. I love the look of the two-tone. With light on it is so cool. Like up here right now, this is like sort of bronzy looking. Mint.
That's great. And when I can afford head bolts and gaskets, I'll buy those and bolt the heads on. Then I can put the intake on, valve covers. This will be a complete engine. When the head bolts and all that are on it, when the heads are bolted on, then it's an engine.
Here's Desperado's frame. I am going to blow this apart and paint it very soon. I keep saying that. It actually is very soon now.
I won't have it on video because Cass and the girls want to help me paint it. And Cass doesn't like being on video, so we're going to do it as a family. We're just going to pick away at it on our own time and paint the frame up and spend some time together at this. So you'll see it when it's complete.
As soon as the frame is painted, I'm going to take the engine, transmission, transfer case, bolt it all right in place, and it's not going to come back out again.
That way we can start the Lego block building. I need to figure out what I'm doing for a turbo hot side. I have no idea yet. I'll probably end up making a log manifold or something like that. I checked some of the prices on the eBay ones. They're out of my price range, so I'll make it. That's no problem whatsoever with me. I've made them before, and it's a good bit of fun. So I think I'm gonna call it on this one. I got a little bit of work done, just a little bit of lunch break shenanigans, picking away at my engine, and I just like to have updates as I go. Doesn't have to be big long videos where I do all kinds of different stuff, and just keeping everybody in the loop, keeping progress going, keeping filming progress, because, well, everybody likes to see what's going on. So thanks for checking out the channel. Thanks to my YouTube members, patrons, and subscribers. Thanks so much to Dwayne for powder coating those parts for me. They look phenomenal, and I can't wait to see it all together. If you want to check out my Patreon, it's patreon.com/stationroadratrods. My YouTube members link is down here, and that's a couple ways that you can help out if you like. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, everybody.